What's up, everybody? It's your boy Keefe back with another live stream. Ghost Cult Mags, rock and metal news show every week, all over the web, all the things. And I'm back at it. Thanks for being here for another late night streams. Just waiting for TikTok to come on while we still have it. Crazy times. How's everybody doing out there? It's invariably going to be a hard time. If you're having a hard time, let us know. We're here. DMs are always open. And if you're new here, since 2012, ghostcultmag.com is your everyday 24/7 365 source for rock and metal news, interviews with bands that are pretty cool, metal festivals from all over the world, events, concert tours, and everything else. I'm your main host, but there are many people who you will see on this channel from time to time, and we're trying to do a better job with that all around. Lisa White Blues fans are here. I got a little story about y'all coming up soon. And the Gareth is here. What up, what up? I am also known as the Keefe, sometimes on social media, but mostly Ghost Cult Keefe, like Keefe Ramone. On a little bit later than I planned. I got a health update for y'all in a few. Gonna keep it really, really real, as I always do. And we're here to do the thing, however late at night, almost Friday, everywhere in the world today on the things. So thanks for being here. And again, if you're new here, Dillinger Compound, you have returned. I love it. Like Nosferatu out of the mist. Dillinger Compound is an everydayer and a regular. But if you're new, Nightbees is also here. If you're brand new, smash that like button and subscribe. It helps us. It helps you know when we go live and drop new content every week, at least several videos a week. But let's do the damn thing. And get this fun picture of me in the key slide this week. We got a little slide deck going. And DMod 2 is also here. What's up, DMod 2? So, Dillinger, I hope you're well. I'm trying to hang in there. It's been an up and down week for me. Going to keep it real again. Just going to keep it real. Not 100% sure. But here we are. The whole world is on fire. It's almost February. The first month of the year is almost in the books. It has felt like 10,000 days, to quote the title of one of my favorite Tool records. It has been a very long feeling month. I'm not going to front. And it's time for the announcements, and there's a lot of them. So I'm just going to try to whip through some of these. Again, we continue to amass aid links and help for people from the Southern California wildfires. They seem to have kicked up again this week after it looked like they were almost beaten down. R. Smith is here. What up? And it's a bummer for sure. It's an absolute bummer. But if you can donate, please do. We are not asking for any donations for the show this week. Probably not until February at this point, honestly. But this is normally the point in the show when we're donate some money to us. But no, if you can, donate some money to people burned out of their homes. And again, I know Cantrell is here. I know a lot of people, ZMM is here. I know a lot of people are focusing on celebrities that got burned out of their homes because they're notable, or musicians. Larry Lalonde from Primus lost his home, which just sucks. It just totally sucks. Can't imagine how much it hurts. But at the same time, try to think of the regular folks who don't have anything and don't have a lot of fans and people to maybe rally around them. Mark Mendez is here. Sarah, 300 Shepherds, Slick Mick, what up? Slick Mick the Ruler, 777, Andre Castillo. But anyway, and again, there's a lot of stuff in here for musicians and people. I was just looking at a Hypebot article, which I also could link in the description, which has a lot of resources for all the people doing things, Gibson guitars, tons of instrument people and brands, a lot of places in Southern California. Looks like a lot of award shows and festivals were canceled upcoming as a result of this, although the Metal Hall of Fame happened yesterday. We can talk a little bit about it in a minute or a few minutes. But anyway, if you can help, please help. We appreciate it. We just appreciate it. A reminder, we are at ghostcultmag.com all the time for everything else. In the meantime, I can put your comments up here on the screen if you like. Thanks to StreamYard, who we will plug in a little bit. Yemi is here. Beans is here. Sherry Ann is here. Angel is here. I'm going to bust open a Liquid Death mango chainsaw. Cheers. Pretty good. Pretty good. Hey, it's a picture of me. You might have seen this image from the front cover of this thing. I have officially lived in California for 4 years. I have lived in San Francisco for 3.5 years. I do love it here. The last year of my life, if you followed these shows, you see me very frankly and openly talk about my physical and mental health problems, but I'm battling through. I'm trying to fight through. Get very reflective on anniversaries and things. I'm a nostalgic and sensitive person. Juicy is here. Zion is here. Chrissy is here. Leaf is here. But I thought it was important to kind of talk a little bit about this stuff because, a lot of people might not be doing too good. I've not been doing too great. On the plus side, I've been getting some help for my mental health. Finally got like some regular counseling and shrink appointments and meds. Yeah, I'll talk about it in a second, Dillinger. I found this, it's very scary. I used to work I work in marketing and social media, and I worked in marketing for pharma. And like the amount of photos of pharma drug bottles and pills on the internet for royalty-free use is crazy because they know people are using them all the time. So I'm on a bunch of meds, and some of them new and some of them for the first time ever. And I've been having a crazy week where I sleep and then I don't sleep and then I just black out. I get dizzy. Trying to get the right concoction of meds that are working for my mood. That's the most important thing. I've always been a very anxious person, but I'm trying to help my depression, which hasn't been helped by the events of the world, like the fires and other things. But, it gets better. It's been getting better. I am relieved to finally have some a little team around me supporting my mental health problems. And I got to do a little better job of getting my physical health back on track a little bit stronger like I did early last year. So that's just an update about me on me. A lot of people are claiming, there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of claims of, some real, some not, about people setting fires. I mean, Danzig has not been a good source of news or information. I was like, sometimes I doom scroll through my feed and I have content, a lot of travel content, especially about Vegas, where I've been a few times for concerts and stuff. And, a guy that comes up in my feed a lot is, and I'm sure now that I'm saying it on YouTube, it's going to happen again, Mickey Mace, the gambling guy. He's the card expert, right? The blackjack expert. And he's like on some says conspiracy to burn ourselves. And it's like, yo. People lost their lives. People came from all over the world to help fight these fires. Slow down. I know it's very easy to get very far flung and start believing in wild, crazy shit, but you got to really chill. Unplug, get off the internet, buddy. Get off the internet, Danzig. You're fine. Bro lives in the hills. He's rich as fuck. He should not be so far flung. He should be a little more intelligent, but maybe he's not. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's just not that smart. Paper Dough 9 is here. What up, Paper Dough 9? 10:30 is here. It's 9:18 where I am. Haha. King Snake Jake is back. What up, King Snake Jake? Welcome back. So just giving a little personal update about me. You don't care that much. Bummer news this week. We had some passings, some very sad ones. John Sykes. This one hurt me so bad that I couldn't rush the news out. Hopkins Law, welcome back. I am such a huge fan of John Sykes, from Thin Lizzy to Tigers of Pantang to Whitesnake. I know a lot of people love Adrian Vandenberg and gravitate to him because he's so charismatic. But Sykes is really the true genius behind the self-titled 1987 Whitesnake record, which, as you know, it had like several evolutions and rewrites. They worked on that thing for like 2 years. It's a miracle it did it so well, because that's how they made all their money back. But John Sykes, man, what a just a Blue Murder, his solo career. He had put out a couple of singles about 3-4 years ago on Golden Robot Records, and then they never put the full album out, and they kind of just parted ways. And he had been saying, even just recently in an interview, that he had been getting the itch again to write again and make a new album. So I'm super bummed that he died. I didn't realize he had cancer. He was kind of private about it. So, very sad, very sad. Rip John Sykes, man. Also, this is a tough one. Rich Hall, who was kind of like a legendary New York booking guy, passed away. I think it was unexpected. Don't know if he was ill. I think we maybe crossed paths a couple of times when I lived in New York, and since I moved out and back and away again. He was an infamous hardcore veteran guy. A lot of huge bands. He booked their very first shows in New York, like Converge and ISIS, the band, and Botch. Booked at CBGB's, which, I had a lot of time with. Thousand Knives, right? Just sad. Long Island guy. Well loved. A lot of people paid tribute. Major websites like Brooklyn Vegan paid tribute to him. Hatebreed, like huge bands. So I knew who this guy was. So, if you loved heavy music and you ever went to a heavy music show, whether your friends played and you left, or you stayed all day and saw bands and punched out in the pit, this guy was probably part of it in the New York City area, New York City and Long Island. So rip Rich Hall. Yep, Dimitri was close to him, right? Yeah, huh? Not a surprise. Just a bummer. Seemed to be an all-around well-liked guy. I didn't know him well. I think when I first went back to New York to go to St. Vitus for the first time, Rich was actually a very early door guy and booker there when they first opened. And so, it's possible he took some money from me to get in and stuff like that. Just kind of a bummer, got to be honest. But, yeah. What else? This is a tough one. Jules Pfeiffer. It's not accurate to just, he was an award-winning, a Pulitzer Prize-winning, an Eisner Award-winning cartoonist, but that's like too little to say about him. He also was a playwright and an author and a writer. If you ever grew up in the New York City area or anywhere in the country and read The Village Voice, you saw Jules's work, and it was indelible. Political cartoons, topical stuff in the zeitgeist. He helped direct the visual style of The Voice, along with like Lichtenstein and things like that. Rich was booking shows again recently, including Coalesce and Great Falls in the Seattle area. Oh, that's dope. Yeah. We had a lot of coverage out there because of Chris Elliott, Black Angeles and/or Cell Arts is what his handles are. And he's got a great YouTube channel here where he does a lot of concert footage. So he might have even known that guy. I'll have to look him up and ask him. And then this was a real interesting story. This was sent to me. You don't always get these, we overlook a lot of stuff, man, in history. And it's important not to kind of forget where you came from, right? Because, history has a way of really shitting the bed if you let it, and you don't care for it, and you don't remember and honor people. So this is Nancy Lieutenant Cologne, who was the first African-American woman nurse in what became the Air Force, in the pre-Air Force Army Air Corps group, and a legendary American, inspired by a war poster to sign up and become a nurse and help the armed services. I mean, you can't be more patriotic than that. A lot of people talk shit about how much they love their country, and they would not help defend it or, educate themselves enough to understand what this stuff all is. I know we're very divided politically in these days, as we should be, but yep. Mazg 1313 is here. What up? So this was sent to me. What up, Fubu? That was you. in the text thread. Thanks for sharing that one. Sometimes you would never know who that people are unless you get like some help. A lot of people are watching on YouTube. Thanks for being here. If you're new here, please like and sub. It helps. Once again, this show and every show is dedicated to Sonia Ramos, Sonia Shredder on Instagram. She's battling late stage cancer, and we're just trying to raise awareness of her GoFundMe. Links in the description. We're also still raising money for our buddy Abe Allen of Fine Chamois Records. We're going to talk about Fine Chamois in a second, a little bit more. You can hit the link there in the description. Even if you can't donate, please share. We're just trying to raise awareness for his plight. This is a friend of mine, in addition to a colleague of Ghost Cults. And again, we're just on a fun note. We're still trying to get signatures for our favorite metal-loving dog in San Francisco, Django, the Chihuahua. Django here with Necro Butcher. They were on their way to kill Euronymous for Mayhem. There's a petition at change.org. You don't have to donate any money. We're just trying to do a fun thing to get our dog sainthood from the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence of San Francisco. Rob Rage is back. What up, Rob Rage? Good to see you again. It's good to see the everydayers and the regulars pop in. I appreciate you. Slayer's Wine is here. Nuclear Savior. Redhead, Zedhead. Hey, Jim, I hope you're doing okay, man. I hope you're okay. DM me if you got some news about your recent goings on. I'm curious to know. And, rooting for you always, man. And we'll catch up soon by phone, I promise. I mentioned recently I started a new band as kind of one of my, cool, fun things I'm trying to do with my life this year is do more music. So my new band is Angst. We are on all the socials at Angst Music SF. There's been probably other Angst bands before. Iraq Vids is here. Sony Sluts is here. Or Sluice, maybe. But in addition to our band, which doesn't have any music out yet, we're just getting it together now. There was a previous iteration of Angst called Angst 642. Sorry. And they have a new song coming out, Judge and the Jury, coming out on Fine Chamois Records. And we're going to be helping promote that. It's going to be probably early next week. Stay tuned for the post and the announcement and the music to hit all your streaming places, because that's what we're doing. Also, we just recently got to 5,500 subs here on YouTube. So again, if you're watching on YouTube, that's the number one place beside our website where we actually are monetized and make some money. And appreciate you all for being here. Some people are here because of our channel already, like saw our interviews with Hylung, the Norse pagan folk band, or with Jinx Dawson of Coven, the heavy metal legend, or with Fat Mike and NoFX, or a ton of other interviews we've done over the years. So thanks for being here. I'm trying to get those numbers up, man. Once again, we're on all the things. We moved our newsletter over to Substack, and that's going to be ramping up now that we're into the new year. We're on all the other socials things. We just kind of got a breakthrough on Blue Sky, where we got our first 1,000 followers. Seems like a lot of people are quitting X/Twitter to go to Blue Sky. TikTok, somehow still here. We'll talk about it in a minute. There's definitely some shady shit going on with Facebook and TikTok right now, and I urge you all to check your settings, check who you're following, check recent new followed pages, because it seems like during that blackout period of TikTok last weekend, there was some chicanery that absolutely happened, and I'm not being paranoid. I'm keeping it real. Lisa is here. What up, Lisa? And Gia Capri and Dolores, what up? And Ashley. Show some love on TikTok. We still got a platform here. Give us a sub, give us some likes and hearts or whatever. We're on Twitch. Thanks for the one person watching or two people watching over on Twitch. Feel free to sub to us. We will sub back. And like I said, a lot of people are bailing on X. I mean, I would get rid of them. I keep them really only for the business. I'm not enjoying being on them. And as a social media professional and expert, I tell everybody, like, don't give up your handle or don't give up your page if you have a band or a brand. Sit there. You don't have to be active, but don't delete your account. Go on just enough to keep it active, but don't support, if you don't want to support them, I mean, we know what's going on already. Fuck this whole world. And we're on Discord and Reddit, so Fork is here. Yeah, I mean, social in general, it's fucking going down fucking drained. Federico is here. What up? So time for some features, and as you know, we are still rolling out our 2024 Album of the Year stuff. Our Album of the Year for 2024 was Knock Loose, You Won't Go Before You're Supposed To, but we have a whole list of 75 other bands. We got a huge post on our website. We got a video here on YouTube where the whole staff kind of got together and rapped about it. Max Fox is here. What up, sir? Good to see you. Looking forward to some stuff from you this year. We've got some end-of-year guest posts. We had guest posts recently from Sam from Frozen Soul and Jamie from I Declare War and Castrator and Jeremy from Overkill, the new drummer. Some real phenomenal stuff. We had our staff posts continue to roll out this week. My own video was last week. We had Matt Cook today. We had Chris Small the other day. Those things are rolling. We're going to have some more posts from the staff too. I also dropped the video today of my favorite top 10 books of the year. It's officially the Ghost Cult list, but it's also my list. So, check out what I was reading this year. Maybe you missed something. Maybe there's a chance for you to pick something up or, get another take. Maybe you overlooked something because you weren't into it. Yo, what up, Max? Good to see you. I'm sure I will see you at a show or something soon here in the Bay. But, yeah. Hails to the boneless ones. And also, again, my personal top 20 countdown ran last week. You can check that out. It's pretty fun. And I had most of it on vinyl, which is kind of fun and cool. Okay is here. All right. We had some premieres this week. People still seem to like the premieres. This is Stress Test from Portland featuring members of Unto Others and Drought, and it is brutal death metal. You might not have expected that to be from a member of Unto Others, but they slay, and we connected with them and debuted their brand new song from their upcoming debut album. Pretty fucking cool. Who else? We also did this today. This is, I hope I say this correctly, Marco Bolchevik. We did the Metal Hall of Fame last night, and we're going to talk about it in a little bit. We're going to have some coverage soon. We got some interviews at the red carpet and covered the show. So we're going to talk about the Metal Hall of Fame in a second. I'm stoked for it. And next year I may try to get down there. I've never been to NAMM or the Metal Hall of Fame in person. I was invited this year, and I could not go. And then tomorrow, it's already tomorrow, later today on the channel, you will have Yesterday's Heroes new song. And we're going to be sharing that. So we're excited about that. We'll push that a little more on the site. And, of course, all weekend. And next week. Feature interview is another honor of my life to talk once again to Einar Selvik of Wardruna. New album out tomorrow. Berna on Binorus Recordings, the album label he co-owns with Ivor from Enslaved. Had a brain fart there for a minute. We've been very lucky. Like, our whole history has been entwined with Wardruna's history. One of our very first interviews as a magazine was with him. That interview is still somehow bringing us traffic from their website 12, almost 13 years later. I've interviewed Einar several other times. He's just wonderful. I'm a huge fan of this music. I'm a huge fan of Wardruna. Another brilliant album. You can check the review out on our site, and it's a pretty great chat. Actually, I'm so stoked. Shout out to my co-owner at Ghost Cult, Omar Cordy, who does all our video production and a bunch of other things. And he did like a new ending. If you guys have watched us for years and years, you know at the end of our videos, we sometimes have, at the end of this video, there's like a tag. I'm going to actually play you the end of the interview with Einar where you see the new ending. Because I'm so pumped for it. I want you to see how cool it is. Hold on one second. I'm going to go to full screen on this. Nope, that was wrong. Let's do this. Been following you, so I'm very thankful to see you again. Unfortunately, guys on TikTok are not seeing this, so just hold still for 30 seconds. All right.
Yeah. Until the next time.
Until the next time, there will be a next time, maybe again in person. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Before
absolutely.
We had to do these screens, we did these in person. I'll see you soon.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
So the music that's Salted Wounds, our old band, me and Omar. And this new kind of ending. So cool. And yeah, if you got a band, this is helpful for y'all on TikTok now that TikTok is not banned anymore. The groovy outro music. So yeah, let's If you got a band and you want to get a shout out, a mention in our YouTube videos at the ending, like we did there, you can hit us up at the link in our bio for the GC shout out, hashtag GC shout out, or the pin post on some of our socials, and figure out how to get into some of our videos. Get your shit discovered. That's what we're trying to help underground bands. So we talked to Wadruna. Just a reminder, our interview with Sodom, with Tom Angel Ripper of Sodom, went huge on Blabbermouth last week. I was really shocked. I was really appreciative. Barbara's here. SJ is back. Lowrider's here. What up? What up? What the fork is going on? Fork? Word, exactly. So yeah, we interviewed Tom of Sodom, and that went gangbusters on Blabbermouth. I would have thought the Wadruna interview would have too. I didn't see a lot of them would go out this week. Album's out tomorrow, but thanks if you supported us here. See, Fazio is here again. Good to see you. And again, we've been kind of, like I said, my health wasn't too great this last week, so I didn't live stream that much, just a couple. And maybe I'll do some more this weekend and next week to make up. But we talked a lot about the TikTok ban and what nefarious, nonsensical bullshit went on with that. If you're on TikTok, sound off in the comments how you feel about it being back, whether you feel like your feed has changed at all. A lot of people feel like their feeds have been changed against their will, and you should go into your settings and make sure there is no bullshit going on. And once again, this show is a podcast. We have a podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Some exclusive content is there. All our keystone, we'll call it, evergreen content is there, and you should check it out if you like podcasts. Some people, you can't watch these things every week for an hour and a half. You can only listen to podcasts. And a reminder, because I don't have enough to do, I'm also the co-host of the Glacially musical Pouredcast, like pour, beer, metal, and swearing, vinyl care, and all kinds of things. We ended our series on Obituary's first classic 4 albums, and now we just did a chaser episode, like an in-between series episode on the best albums, every best rock and metal album of the 80s. So 1 year, all the albums, each of us picked one. And we had our guest, Danny Nichols, formerly of Torchlight Parade and currently of Capuchin Punks and a couple of other bands. So we basically went through all the albums that came out every year just about, and we each picked our favorites and or what we thought was the best. And then we fought a lot about it. And then we picked one album at the end to sum up the 80s. So check that out. It's actually a lot of fun. Great podcast. The host, Nick Cameron, me, and Danny Nichols. Yeah, very sad about John Sykes. Jim, I talked about it right at the top before you joined. Papa Mitch is also here. What up, Papa Mitch? Very sad. I was so sad that I couldn't even do like the breaking news thing. I wrote the story and I shared the story, and I didn't really have it in me. It just hurt too much, man. I love Thin Lizzy. I love Whitesnake. I love Sykes. Guy was great. I always wanted to interview him, and I just didn't make it work, unfortunately. But what are you gonna do? But check out that podcast also here on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts. Live or die, we're all accountable. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. We all die, and we kind of die alone. Even if it's harsh. You gotta live your life like there's no tomorrow. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your life. Just a real quick shout out to our affiliate partners, Lamb Goat, the meaner version of Ghost Cult. Whenever you see, of course, Blue Murder, man. Whenever you see ads on our website, that's Lamb Goat. When we gave away tickets to see Slayer last year, that was with Lamb Goat. If you need ads for your brand, band, or store, check out Lamb Goat. We also sell advertising here at Ghost Cult on our site if you're curious. And also this, and except for y'all on TikTok, after Doom is here. Oh, nice, man. Nice. I miss Rick so much. We are using StreamYard to stream this video all over our socials and everywhere else on the web except TikTok. And if you like what you see here, if you sign up with our link in the description, you get $10 off your subscription, and we get $10 off our next bill. So it's Dutch Rudder time. Thanks for being here. Let's rock and roll. Let's rock and roll. Just a reminder, no matter what happens, your validity is not dictated by some laws. You are seen, you are loved, you are here. We're here for you. I talked very openly at the top, Jim, about my mental health struggles, and Dillinger was here for that. And I got a new team and a new plan and some working on my mental health a lot right now. But it's been a battle this week. I've been like up and down, sleepy, dizzy, drowsy, no sleep, too much sleep. It's tough. I'm just trying to get it regulated. But if you're struggling, please reach out. Our DMs are always open. Anyway, let us do the news rundown. And of course, every week when we start the news rundown, we focus on metal festivals. I'm just going to blow this screen up again. Let us blow this thing up. Papow. There, I did it right this time. And so let us talk about metal festivals. There's a bunch of festival news this week to jam on. Michaelicious is back also. Fire Aid benefit, talking again about the LA fires. They just added a bunch of new artists, but I think it's a pretty nice mix of classic and modern artists. Green Day is really the biggest remotely rock artist there, including the Chili Peppers, who don't rock that much anymore, but I thought it was pretty cool. And now they've got the split between the two venues. So Intuit Dome has Billie Eilish, Earth, Wind & Fire, Gracie Abrams, Jelly Roll, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, Lil Baby, who's terrible, Olivia Rodrigo, Peso Pluma, Rod Stewart, Stevie Wonder, Sting, and Tate McRae. And then at the Forum, Alanis Morissette, Anderson .Paak, Dave Matthews and John Mayer, Dawes, Graham Nash, Green Day, John Fogerty, Joni Mitchell, No Doubt, Pink, Chili's, Stephen Stills. All right, man. Incarceration to see Dillinger, No Doubt. I know, we're going to talk about it in just a second. It's coming up. Yeah, Joni Mitchell, who does not perform. So I don't know if she's actually going to perform. She's been kind of retired from performing for a very long time. Hi, Mary. I saw that Joni Mitchell documentary last year. It was eye-opening. I didn't realize that she's had health issues for like 35, 40 years. Since the 80s, she's had like decreasing health. But, she's a legend. She's an incredible guitarist. People didn't remember that she was an incredible guitar player, as well as a poetess and, master of folk music. I'd rather listen to Joni Mitchell than Bob Dylan any day. But that's me. And the Black Crowes, I think, were just added too. So pretty cool. Pink. Maybe being around Green Day and the Black Crowes and the Chili's will inspire Pink to rock out a little more. I've always rooted for her to do kind of a rock or heavy metal album. Feather Earth is here. Knotfest Australia has announced their side shows. And Knotfest Australia has all these bands playing it, but they're also, because Australia is so spread out with like 6 or 7 big cities, all the side shows are on sale today if you're in Australia or if you're looking to travel to Australia. And pretty good, man. Pretty good. They're going to be there for like a week. All these bands are going to be over there for a week playing the festival and then touring around. So I think that's a pretty good deal. If you can't make it to Knotfest proper, you can go to some of these side shows and see your favorites. I think that's kind of cool. Also, Incarceration. There you go, Dillinger, right on time. Incarceration Festival. Let's just do the quick rundown. There's going to be a few more bands added, apparently. Falling in Reverse, for the fucking life of me, I don't understand why this band is popular. They are not good. I know they have their fans. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to be wrong in your eyes or ears. I do not care for this band. I don't care for Ronnie Radke at all, but Knocked Loose and Beartooth, I would definitely want to see. Parkway Drive should really be headlining. I Prevail could be headlining. Killswitch, Amity Affliction, Drain, Bog Wizard, what up? Alpha Wolf, Devil Wears Prada, Drowning Pool, looks like Carnifex, Suffocation, rarely to get on a major festival like this. That's pretty cool. There's probably a few others for that Friday. Saturday, headlined by Slipknot with Marilyn Manson and Slaughter to Prevail. Acid Bath, Dillinger Escape Plan, Dayseeker, Kubla Khan, August Burns Red, The Plot in You, Amur, again, surprising, Union Underground, Snot, as discussed, we have some Snot news coming up, Spite, Dry Kill Logic, also back from retirement, super excited about that, and a few other bands, Swollen Teeth is in there, and then for Sunday, 3 Days Grace 2X with the two singers, Five Finger Death Punch, Lamb of God, We Came as Romans, and a bunch of other bands. So, Incarceration's at Shawshank Prison, basically. If you love the Shawshank Redemption, they've got like Tattoo Festival, haunted tours of the prison, beer, all kinds of things. I don't know how I will do in the Midwest in the summer, but it's tempting. I'm not going to front. We've covered it. I've never gone. we probably will cover it again. But I mean, yeah. Anyway, falling in reverse. Skip. Big time skip. Rockfest, Wisconsin. This happens every July across a bunch of different weekends and days in Wisconsin. And it's not just rock and metal. It's all kinds of country artists and pop and rap artists. And headlined by Rob Zombie, Knocked Loose, Slaughter to Prevail, Architects, Crossfade, Kubla Khan, Taproot, Attila, Dry Kill Logic again, Elijah Nuisance, Lydia Can't Breathe, and a bunch of other bands. Five Finger Death Punch, Manson, In This Moment, Nothing More, Yellow Wolf, August Burns Red, Dead Poet Society, Vended, Mushroom Head, Royal Lynn, who is Blow It Up. She's great. We had a recent podcast interview with her. Bad Omens. Bad Omens, by the way, I don't know. I just saw this story just as I was going live. They were playing in, I think, Australia, and like the roof of the venue collapsed and hurt some fans. Their band is okay, and most of the fans are okay, but it was pretty scary looking if you see the video. I didn't have time to put it in here, but whoa. But Bad Omens, 3 Days Grace, Ja Rule for some reason. Poppy, We Came as Romans, Sick Puppy, Scene Queen, Funeral Portrait, Tim Montana I like a lot, Return to Dust, great band we interviewed last year, and a bunch of others. So kind of cool. Eve 6 is on there, Drowning Pool, Born of Osiris, kind of fun. Aqualam Records is here, what up, what up? So yeah, the big butt rock festivals of the Midwest are a thing. Warped Tour, we are going to know on Monday who is playing the friggin' Warped Tour. It's already sold out basically, but I'm interested to see who they got. And by the way, like those festivals should be an indication of some of the bands they're probably going to have. I think it'll be like one major punk band or a drawing metalcore band at the top, followed by a bunch of younger, smaller bands, because you just can't afford to put on a show with like the level of bands at Warped Tour. A lot of these lower rung bands became huge bands, or even just significant club theater bands. So you just can't have that level of bands play the festival. Grocery Boy is here, but Grocery Boy Jr., which implies there must be a Grocery Boy Senior somewhere. All right, Bottle Rock Napa tickets are on sale now. We talked about this last week. It's maybe I'll go. I don't know. I would really like to see Green Day one more time. I keep hoping they're going to play a secret show. I live here in the Bay Area. You can't really get tickets to go see them at an arena or stadium. It's ridiculous, but Bottle Rock might be worth it. It really spoiled me for fancy food and comfort in terms of a festival. And there's Ice Cube, Public Enemy, Sublime. Like that's enough in one day for me to like happily go and do the festival. Just thinking about it. This is LA. Another benefit for the California fires has been announced, with God's Hate, Rotting Out, Zabalba, H2O, Strife, Downpresser, Zulu at the Belasco Theater in February 2nd. Dead Cross with Jello Biafra at Warped? Maybe. I don't know. I know there's a lot of rumors about Patton not wanting to tour anymore, but I can't see any of his bands coming out without him. I know there's going to be some anniversary stuff around Faith No More. I don't think Faith No More is going to tour again, at least not right now. I think Patton, it's like his vibe. He either doesn't, like I don't feel like touring, and then he gets the itch to perform. So I think he does not like touring, and he's, concerned about, too many humans humaning around him, but he definitely loves to perform, right? Loves making music. And that's his happy place, is the studio, the lab, or the stage. The question is, what do you have to go through to play on tour? So I'm as a huge Mike Patton fan, I'm hopeful. Maybe you get a couple of oldie type bands at one of these, like again, these other bands, Bad Religion had just taken some time off for some health stuff. I'm not 100% sure if they're going to like do a Warped Tour, but it would make sense. No Effect is retired. Pennywise is already busy with their own touring festival stuff, so I don't know. Vakken Metal Battle shows are announced already for Ontario and British Columbia. More to come for the USA and all of Europe. We are an official media partner of these Vakken Metal Battle events. This is awesome. I saw this today. Sing Us Home Festival in Philadelphia. Bouncing Souls, Frank Turner, Dave Howes, and the Mermaid, who I love, and the House Family Campfire. Dan Andriano, also of Alkaline Trio, Dave Howes and AJJ. That's sick. Buzz Zemer, Tim House, Speedy Ortiz, John Gallagher Jr. No relation at all to John Gallagher of Dying Fetus, but yeah, a couple of great bands. I would almost go to this. Would love to see Tomahawk. I know we got robbed. We got robbed of Tomahawk. Maybe somebody else will take Tomahawk on tour with them, like Melvins, to co-headline or something. I was really hoping for that Tomahawk tour. Maybe it can still happen. Maybe they have a release coming and they'll need to plug it, but I don't know. You know? I also wouldn't mind seeing Lovage. All right, this is really great. Formerly known as Levitation Festival, Austin Psych Fest. We ran this story today. Explosions in the Sky, Godspeed You, Black Emperor, Black Mountain, Octopus Project, Blackwater Holy Light, near and dear to my heart, Dark Side, Kim Gordon, Strike Fear, Jordy Greep, Corridor, Dinosaur Jr., Yola Tango, Boa, Loose, Dean Wareham plays Galaxy 500, Mystery Lights, and probably some more to be added. So looking pretty cool to me. I've never been to Austin, Texas. I really would like to go. Hop Smoker Fest. Holy cow. Braintree, Massachusetts, not too far from where I used to live in south of Boston. Resin, Castle Rat, High Command, Enforced, Howling Giant, Leather Lung, Restless Spirit, Harsh Round, and a bunch of other bands at a brewery. Holy shitballs. What a great looking show. Also, just a reminder, I'm going to talk more about Acid Bath in a second. Acid Bath books their first show since the 90s. Hell freezes over. Holy fuck. The whole Southeast. I've been down south before in America where we got a little bit of snow and the whole place shut down. I remember being in Atlanta for the Scion Rock Fest in February of 2009. And the entire town shut down because of like 2 inches of snow. It was fucking absurd. Absurd. All right, concerts. Let's roll. 9 Inch Nails, man, the worst kept secret there is. 9 Inch Nails finally announced their big Peel It Back World Tour. Kevin 11 is here. I'm fairly excited. I was hoping they would pair the tour announcement with the new single, but they didn't. We are apparently getting a new 9 Inch Nails album, an actual proper 9 Inch Nails album, as well as that Tron Eras soundtrack, as well as that game soundtrack from Naughty Dog that looks amazing. So I'm here for it. 9 Inch Nails has not toured in 3 years. I saw them last about 10 years ago. They were pretty amazing. Ghost Cult has covered 9 Inch Nails a few times at Riot Fest and an Aftershock. I would not be surprised if 9 Inch Nails, they do have an Oakland show on this tour. I wouldn't be surprised if they do Aftershock and Riot Fest again. Just makes sense. They overlap in terms of months, a few weeks apart. And also Louder Than Life, I think, is now a possibility that 9 Inch Nails will get booked there. Let's find out. Exodus, no sooner do they get Rob Dukes back in the band and dismiss Zetro, they announced 2 40th anniversary shows. 2025 marks the 40th anniversary of Bonded by Blood, one of my favorite albums of all time, one of my favorite albums, period. And they are going to play Bonded by Blood twice in its entirety, once in Berkeley, California, right here in their backyard, and once in LA, late in April to celebrate the birthday of Paul Bailoff. Rest in power. Death Angel will provide direct support and some very cool bands opening. I'm here for it. We did a whole video on the Exodus brouhaha. I'm kind of happy Dukes is back, but I love Zetro. I'm not sure who you guys prefer, but let us know in the comments if you are happy about Dukes being back or not. Seems like about most of the people who voted were voting for Dukes when we did the poll, and then everybody else was kind of like, not sure. In the comments, they were more pro Zetro. Pantera kicked off their new headline tour of Europe last night with Power Trip and Childbite. Members of Power Trip and Childbite joined Pantera on stage to sing Walk, and those guys are going to tour through the spring and then join up with Metallica for the M72 2025 Year 3 leg of that tour. And then they don't have anything else announced. We'll see if Pantera is going to do more after this. Down is supposed to drop an album, and No Doubt tour, and Philip has Scour with a new album coming out soon. So maybe he's just filling up his dance card, but it's also possible this is the end of the Pantera run after these last headline shows and Metallica shows. But bound to be lucrative. We also heard there might be a live album from Pantera this year. We shall see. Acid Bath, once again, no sooner had they announced those festivals, and obviously the one that got canceled, Sick New World, they announced 2 hometown shows in New Orleans, and they immediately sold out within like 2 hours. Like a raindrop that falls to rise again, the return of Acid Bath. And by the way, speaking of Acid Bath, new Dax Riggs album tomorrow. 7 songs for Spiders. Super pumped for it. Our review ran today. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. But I believe Evil Rob is going to go down to New Orleans and cover that Acid Bath show for us. So very exciting stuff. Yeah. Oh man. I interviewed Child Bite here on the channel before the plague at St. Vitus Bar, and me and Sean, we had a on the record and off the record conversation about Pantera and Philip and Housecore Records and all kinds of stuff, and being old guys and being old metalheads and punks. And, Sean is a pretty phenomenal person, and spoke very highly of Philip. So I know, super cool. And, Housecore has a bunch of great bands you should go check out. Manson, love him or hate him, he announced a headline tour. The Manson comeback continues. Still not quite at the level he was at before everything happened, but Marilyn Manson has announced a headline tour in North America. No openers announced yet, but I suspect there will be some buy-ons. Matt Palmer is here. And some people are still very excited. Last Manson record was actually quite good. Like I said, I was surprised how good it was. Writing again with Tyler Bates. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Also, Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum. They dropped a new album last fall. We helped premiere that album and first video back. They announced a brief headline tour of the West Coast. I'm actually surprised and excited for that. Rise of the Roach tour, Papa Roach and Rise Against with support from Under Oath is coming soon. Papa Roach also has UK shows for the 25th anniversary of Infest, or 26th anniversary of Infest, I'm not sure. And we have some more Rise Against news coming soon. Coven, again, you might be here because of our interview with Jinx Dawson, the heavy metal legend. Did the horns before Dio, and maybe even taught it to Dio, according to my interview with Jinx Dawson. Has announced the very first tour dates for 2025, the Magical Chaos Tour. I believe there's a new Coven album coming, and maybe her memoirs that she's been long working on will finally be ready for release. And I will gladly interview Jinx yet again for that. Not maybe my genre of choice, but Anima is got their final End of Genesis shows at the Sphere. I'm dying to go to the Sphere in Las Vegas. I don't have really a reason to go yet. I'm not a Grateful Dead fan. I don't care for U2, but I'm waiting for some kind of rock or metal band to play the Sphere, or at a certain point, I'll just go to Vegas for some purpose, like a festival or something, or a show, and I'll try to go to the Sphere on the average empty day, the 0 day. Howie Ducky is here, and Moonstars and Love is here, and I think I'll just try to get to the Sphere to get the experience and maybe do a review and a video for y'all. You're not really supposed to record during the Sphere shows. It's sort of frowned upon or forbidden. I don't know if it's officially not allowed. The Eastling is here too. But anyway, I just thought you might like to know that those final shows are happening. I guess it's like a techno and dance, hard EDM electronic music. I think my dude Fubu probably knows about who this is. Cadaver, Slobosa, and The Orb have a European tour getting ready to happen this year. I Just Want to Be a Sound, Europe 2025. I believe Cadaver has a new album in the works. We know Slomosa is actually going to be touring with Clutch and other bands like that this year, which is very exciting. If you have followed this underground band, here's Paris, the pop and dance music artist we've been a big fan of for a long time. Also has some punk roots. She just announced a 10-year anniversary tour. I remember when Paris was the manager of Newbury Comics outside of Boston, and always said like, oh, I'm gonna, get my music out there, and started to become kind of a big deal regionally, and then suddenly got signed to a big record deal, and now a worldwide star. Cleopatra, the band from Toronto, has dropped a new single, announced a new album, and now announced a tour. Very, very cool. This is their first tour of the UK in a long time this spring, and more tour dates will be announced soon. 3 Inches of Blood, who I'm going to miss, I think, tomorrow, are playing near me in San Francisco, but they have some West Coast dates this week. I don't know if I'm up to honestly going right now to a show. I have a show in like 3 weeks I'm supposed to go to. I haven't been feeling too good, so I don't know if I can do a show right now, but I really wanted to go to this, especially 3 Inches of Blood, Toxic Holocaust, The Homies, and Haunt. I've interviewed all those bands except 3 Inches of Blood. Maybe next time. Knuckle Puck dropped a new single, and they announced the Copacetic 10-year anniversary tour with some limited tour dates this spring. I believe they're also going to get added to a bunch of festivals, is probably likely, but they wanted to announce these shows first, where they're going to play the whole album in its entirety. NAMM is this weekend. I am again not going, but there's a bunch of NAMM events, including Riot Stitch Fashion Wear's first ever runway fashion show at NAMM, 2 p.m. on Saturday. There's a bunch of other events here we're glad to help promote and share. Holy Mother is doing a meet and greet and signing. That's tomorrow. Also, Babylon AD are doing a signing and a meet and greet, as well as the NAMM one-of-a-kind Highwire Days booth and magazine concert featuring some all-stars, the Highwire Days house band, and Neil Turbin and his band. So that's kind of fucking cool. I'm dying to interview Neil Turbin. He's popped into our TikToks a few times. So Neil Turbin, if you're out there or you see this on the replay, I wouldn't mind talking to you sometime. Hey, how about all the great musicians at NAMM this year? I'm telling you, Metal Allegiance playing tomorrow. Hoping to get a new Metal Allegiance album at some point. I'm here for it. Again, just a reminder, Ghost Cult's first ever 2 podcasts were interviewing Metal Allegiance, including the late, great Trevor Sturnod of the Black Dahlia Murder. Between the Buried and Me is going to do the Coma Alaska tour with Protest the Hero, where they're going to play all of Coma, Eclectic, and Alaska each night. Not my favorite band, but cool. I know a lot of people are pumped. Eric Javier is here. Lorna the Lost has been having a crazy busy year. They got a new album coming out. Their lead singer's got a new album out. And they announced the UK and Ireland tour for later this year with Scarlet Riot and Julian K. Julian K features original founding members of Orgy. What's up, Eric? What's up, okay? It's easy, okay? Just a reminder, we talked about this last week. The Punk Rock Museum in Vegas, which I'm a huge fan of, is doing an exhibition on the St. Vitus Bar First 10 Years book, featuring the photography of Nathaniel C. Shannon, who was at a lot of shows I was at. We have a video here when St. Vitus closed last year. That was actually our biggest story of all of 2024 on the website. And we did a video here where we counted down the most important moments and shows ever at St. Vitus, whether they were metal or punk or whatever. And I got to get my hands on that book. I may very well be in that book because, again, I went to a lot of shows there, especially when I moved back from Boston to New York. Once again, Hatebreed is doing a tour of New Zealand and Australia in February with A Day to Remember. Tickets are on sale now. Obituary, this is pretty cool. They announced the Cause of Death headline tour. This is almost, I don't know, too many fucking bands. Obituary playing all of Cause of Death and some hits. Nails and Terror, Spirit World, and Pest Control. Great lineup. But like, if you had to see this on a Tuesday and had to work Wednesday morning, I would be fucking tired. Why no? Word. Another past interviewee of me. What's up, Eric, man? What's good? What's good with you? I hope you're okay. Thanks for the gift. Appreciate you. Yeah, man. I mean, this looks like a great tour, but I'm just, old me is like, my back hurts just looking at 5 bands on a weekday. Hidden Mothers has been, coming out with a new record soon. They announced a show in Glasgow. They have not played the UK as much. I think a smart move for local bands is not to overplay where you live, but Hidden Mothers is one of the hottest bands right now in the UK. I'm pretty excited for them. Glad to hear you're doing great, Eric. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. All right, that was all the metal festivals and tours. If you missed any of that and you just showed up, you can go back and rewatch it when the show's over. Let us bang through. Yeah, God's Death. We just finished doing Obituary on the Glacially Musical Pouredcast, where we reviewed the first 4 albums in depth, each episode. So you can go check that out. Our next series is starting next week. Yet another Pink Floyd series, because we cannot stop ourselves. All the big news of the week coming up right now. Let's go. Metal Hall of Fame. There you go, Dillinger. We covered the Metal Hall of Fame last night in Anaheim, the 9th annual Metal Hall of Fame Gala. Inducted into the Metal Hall of Fame were Dimebag Darrell, Ricky Rocket, Elisa Whiteglues, whose fans were here earlier, from Arch Enemy and previously of The Agonist. Let's see, who else? Tony McAlpine, Knack Radio, Dangerous Toys, Cannibal Corpse, of course, Jeff Young, former Ghost Cult interviewee, Burton C. Bell of Fear Factory, current solo artist, former interviewee, Life of Agony, former interviewee, Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein, former interviewee. They had an all-star jam. They had a red carpet. We are going to bring you a review, photos, and videos soon, and I'm excited. Next year, maybe I can get down there. Hopefully I'll have not a third year in a row where I'm all over the fucking map with my wacky health. Limp Bizkit, man, this is a surprise. After getting some of their charges in their case against their record label Universal dropped this week, their case was completely dismissed by the judge. They were suing Universal Records for unrecouped royalties that were owed to them to the tune of $200 million. When the suit was kind of downgraded a little bit and some of the claims were thrown out, some of the elements of the case were turned down by the judge, it kind of hurt their standing for the court case. This is important because, labels buy up, big labels buy up other labels. Right now, there's the 3 big major record labels, 3 or 4 biggest labels in the world own the majority of all the music except for DIY artists. And like, if you had a record that used to sell CDs, Limp Bizkit was at the very, very tail end of when CDs sold. The first 2 or 3 Limp Bizkit records sold millions. And he claims they never were paid properly. So I'm sure they're going to appeal, but it's definitely a blow for artists trying to get paid back for what they're owed. So we'll continue to follow this story. It's super interesting. Linkin Park will drop a brand new album tomorrow, an a cappella album version of From Zero, their worldwide smash album. They want you to know that Emily Armstrong can sing and really sing. So they feel very confident that this is going to drop to streaming, and, they're really trying to let you know she can sing and Mike can rhyme. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll listen to some of it tomorrow and give you some feedback, maybe in a couple of days. Snot played their very first show with their brand new singer. That's Andy Knapp. Guy's awesome. There's video. They did a video recap they released today. He sounds just like Lynn. I was really happy about it. It's really hard to replace a singer. They've had a hard time trying to keep singers, but here they are. And Snot's going to play some more headline shows and then finally some metal festivals all over the world. And maybe they will make new music, but I don't know. We'll see. Now is the time for me to rise to my feet. Spirit Box is one of the many bands doing fundraisers for the wildfires. They are doing a charity auction. Their bassist and former As I Lay Dying bassist Josh Gilbert lost his home in the fires, but they're doing a fundraiser in general, not just for Josh, but for other musicians and people who lost their homes. You can check out Spirit Box's socials for that giveaway. Metallica also infamously donated $500,000 to the wildfire relief. I'm sure they're going to do even more. And I think they're doing through their All Within Their Hands Foundation and Fandium, where they're also, for certain donations, they're giving away private jets, VIP experience where you and 6 of your friends will fly to any Metallica show this year and go see them, which is wild. What a time to be alive, huh? Also, Cradle of Filth dropped a new song today, To Live Deliciously, and of their brand new upcoming album. 2 members of Cradle got married last weekend. That was pretty great. And here for a new Cradle album, Experience, coming soon from Napalm Records. Very exciting times. And the Cradle's huge tour, the Chaos and Carnage tour with Dying Fetus and a zillion other bands. Here is Rise Against, who dropped a new song, Nod. They are going on tour, as I previously mentioned. They have a tour with Papa Roach. They have their own headline tour of Europe coming up. I believe this is the first new song of a yet-to-be-announced new album, probably later this year. Big-time Rise Against fan. Here's Dream Theater dropped another new single off their upcoming album, coming up in just 2 weeks. Super pumped. Here's James Labrie Cheese, the singer of Dream Theater, as shot by my partner and Ghost Cult co-owner OJ Cordy. OJC pics on Instagram and TikTok. This photo blows my mind. Here's Imperial Triumphant in New York City. They're at the Chrysler Building, at the iconic, one of the eagle points at the Chrysler Building. And from this view, which I have never seen before in a photograph, you can see the Empire State Building across town from there. So it's insane. And just works perfectly with the aesthetic of Imperial Triumphant, the blackened death metal, black metal jazz guys, right? I'm super excited. They've been doing inventive covers all last year, and now they're going to drop a new album. So super, super stoked for that. Conan announced a new album and dropped a new single, the Sludge Doom Band. We've also interviewed before. Super fun. I've interviewed Imperial Triumphant before, so you should be staying tuned to this YouTube channel where we do a lot of our interviews, our podcasts, and our YouTube channel. But Conan, new album. What's up, Al Nimbus? Got a cool name. If you got a cool name, I'm gonna let you go. Here's Rob Halford of Judas Priest, as shot by our own Kim Hansen Photography. Halford this week said, hey, there's no reason for us to stop touring and making new music. Right now, we don't see an end. We're going to keep going. Remember, like 15 years ago, they were going to retire, and KK ended up out of the band because he was pissed. And they're not going anywhere. So if you've been enjoying Judas Priest, right now, they're healthy and happy and continuing to get opportunities. So we'll get more Judas Priest to enjoy. I can't wait to see them again. Employed to Serve dropped a brand new single. They got a brand new album coming out. Their new single also features Will Ramos of Lorna Shore. I'm a huge Employed to Serve fan, and I cannot wait for their new album and eventual headline tours. Very exciting stuff. One of the best bands in the world if you're down. We were talking last week about Coal Chamber canceling all their tours until later this year, and so Fear Factory said they were supposed to be part of that tour, and they said they were going to rededicate themselves to finishing their new album. And then Dino tweeted yesterday that he fucked up his finger, literally. No studio updates. I fucked up my finger. So it was a little bit of a hiccup, but I expect them to, for him to heal up and for them to continue working on the new Fear Factory album, their first new one with their new singer, who I'm pumped for. Saw them live. He was incredible. This is Sabaton, The War to End All Wars movie is coming to streaming services March 11th. It had a huge movie theater event last Halloween, and now their film is coming out to streaming. Stay tuned for that. Also, we were giving you some updates about Corrosion of Conformity being in the studio. They have finished pre-production for their new album. They're going to take a little break while Bobby Landgraf, the new bassist, replacing Mike Dean, is on tour with Pantera as their guitar tech. And then he's going to come back from the tour, probably tour with them, and then hit the Metallica tour. Maybe in between, he'll come in and lay down his bass tracks. And then we will hopefully get a COC record late in the year or early next year. Very exciting times. Hoping it's this year, though. This is abysmal. Nike, who I normally, is a sneaker brand I have worn a lot of my life. Marissa Thomason is here. Nike is doing a CBGB's inspired sneaker, and this thing sucks, straight up. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. This is some cheap shit. Like, tell me you never went to CBGB's and you don't know anyone who did without telling me. Like, on the surface, I like the idea. I like that they're old school Jordan-looking sneakers from the 90s. But, I like that they use the CBGB's font on the Nike, and one says Bleecker and one says Bowery on the tongue, which was the cross streets of CBGB's. But, man, these things are ugly as fuck. They don't really look good. I don't know why they did these. These are gross. I could have thought of a bunch of other ways to do it. But anyway, holy shit. Like, on one hand, it's like, oh, CBGB's getting some respect. And then on the other hand, it's like, nah, you should not have tried. Once again, this is CU Space Cowboy. We talked about this last week when it was just the rumors. Connie Sagbosa, hopefully I said that correctly, has officially left the band over their decision to tour with Dance Gavin Dance. The offensive person of Dance Gavin Dance is out of the band, so I don't understand why that's a thing, but I understand that their fans were, drawing a line in the sand with them, and Connie felt like the band should not tour with Dance Gavin Dance. And then once again, dickweed Ronnie Radke injected himself into the situation he didn't need to and said, oh, I would go sing for you guys. Just, stop. Anyway, bummer. We'll be following Connie in whatever next musical project they do. And I hope they're okay today. Lamb of God's Randy Bly, similar to the Judas Priest story, says, I can't see us ever breaking up or quitting at this point. He's got his new book coming out soon. I'm hoping to get a copy of it. I would love to interview Randy. We'll see. And but he says they're also a band that has no plans to break up anytime soon, and or probably would never even completely officially break up, just kind of stop touring or stop making records and keep touring. But also Lamb of God's Headbangers Boat put out an after movie today for the recent cruise. Tickets are limited. Tickets are left for the upcoming October cruise, of which they will play Wrath in its entirety. Pretty cool. This is a fun one. We shared this story this week, and I was pleasantly surprised with this. One of our favorite bands is Castrator. Castrator did a guest post for us for their favorite records of 2024, and they announced sort of at the start of the year their new guitarist is Sarah Laureline from the Breathing Process, and Sarah is going to work on their new upcoming album. So very cool. Sarah's an incredible death metal guitarist. So Castrator's just fucking awesome. If you don't know who they are, get familiar, as I like to say. Get acquainted. World on Fire is here. Sis G is here. Ligma Balls is here. It's always somebody with a profile that says Ligma Balls, and they have no photo, and they have no other thing. They have nothing else going on. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are so crazy. I don't understand. Anyway, moving right along. Maris is also here. Killswitch Engage dropped a new single and video today for I Believe. Their new record is coming soon. I just interviewed Joe Strossel all about it. What an adorable, wonderful person. And I can't wait for you to see that interview in a few weeks. Also, Super 7 Toys dropped a brand new version of their Eric B. and Rakim Strictly Business figures. I'm pumped for this. Rakim, arguably the best MC ever to do it. You would not get any hate from me if you said that Rakim was the best rapper ever. You should. If you don't know Eric B. and Rakim, you better find out. Mastodon has been giving a lot of interviews. They are in the process of making their new album. They announced a huge co-headline tour with Coheed and Cambria. Bron Dollar has said that their new album is going to be a single record, not a double, and it's going to be very spooky and maybe even horror film, like horror themed, which makes a lot of sense. Those guys love creepy creature stuff. So we're going to get new Mastodon record officially coming out this year. It will happen this year. So even if they're just recording it now, they might already have the artwork. They might already have ideas for, to pull it together. When you're on a major label, you can kind of make things happen quicker than if you're DIY, This is the time of year when a lot of bands are announcing new records and bands are talking up new records that haven't been announced yet. So we have a lot of rumors and shit. This is Sumac, who had a killer record last year, teaming up with More Mother. I saw More Mother live a few times, and I've seen Sumac live a bunch of times. They have a collaborative album coming out called The Film, and they're going to perform it live, including at Roadburn. We're going to talk more about Roadburn in the coming months as we get ramped up to hopefully cover Roadburn again, as we have every year of Ghost Cult's existence. That's Employed to Serve yet again. This is Viagra Boys. Viagra Boys often spelled with like a couple of asterisks because their name is they get blocked by spam filters. New album, new single, Man Made a Meat, fun video. a total middle finger to consumerism. I saw Viagra Boys last summer open for System of a Down and Deftones and the Mars Volta, and they were fantastic. Great band live. Really a lot of punk rock spirit and randomness and fun. I'm a big fan. Also, this kind of surprised me. I didn't have this on my bingo card. I don't know if you remember the heavy metal band Femme Fatale. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. This is Lorraine Lewis of Femme Fatale. She sang recently for Vixen. They kind of went their separate ways last year. Lorraine is putting together a new lineup of Femme Fatale, perhaps to make a new album, perhaps just to tour. She recently cut a new song with Lou Gramm of Foreigner, who we recently did a podcast on Foreigner. And she apparently has joined OnlyFans. So she's super excited. You know, Femme Fatale debut album was 1988. So Lorraine is easily in her late 50s or early 60s. And she's all good. She's going on OnlyFans. So if you've ever wanted to check her out, she was definitely a major crush of mine my junior year in high school. And she's got a great voice, great singer, and I'm excited for more Femme Fatale stuff. Also, maybe you are familiar with Rough Trade Records. They are a global record store. They have a branch in London. They have a branch, I think, in Paris. They have a branch in Brooklyn, and they had a Manhattan store that they have now expanded to a new location in Rockefeller Center. Bizarre Book Babe is here. Maybe Bizarre Book Babe should check out our top 10 books of 2024 on YouTube. But Rough Trade's got a new location in Rockefeller Center, even though it sounds like a nightmare to me to go to Midtown Manhattan. Next time I come to the East Coast, I will definitely check it out and do a review and maybe a walkthrough. Nonpoint had an emergency this week where Rob Rivera, a friend to the show and former interviewee, we also reviewed Elias Soriano before a couple times. Rob was ill and could not perform one of their shows. He was taken to the hospital. Turns out he was just really dehydrated and depleted. He had to go on his social media and defend himself and say, yo, I'm not on drugs. They played another show yesterday, just fine. He's back on his feet. But, you know, don't go speculating just because somebody goes to the hospital. You know, a lot of people go to the hospital, but they need to go to the hospital. They don't listen to their bodies. I'm glad these guys are, you know, nobody's getting any younger. We're all getting older. Listen to your body. If it's telling you it's an emergency, it's a fucking emergency. British death metal legends Benediction have announced a new album. And they are going to put a new record out. They put a new single out. I'm kind of excited about this. All right. That was all the news stuff. New metal marriage counselor, not about the he said, she said bullshit. Yep. We talked about Limp Bizkit earlier, but I thought this was funny today. The Hard Times somehow not letting me down. All right. It's time for New Music Friday. Let's talk about the new music out this week. And then we will almost bring it on home. Show's almost over, folks. New records out this week include some new metal and alternative rock and punk from Alt Black Era, Rave Immortal. We just dropped that review on our site. Avatarium, the great Swedish doom hard rock band, new album on AFM Records. Aecdc for some 80s speed metal and thrash on Dying Victims production. Beneath a Steel Sky, Cleave on Ripcord Records for some post-rock. Blacktoothed on A Rising Empire for some rock and metalcore. Bumblefoot, the great former Guns N' Roses guitarist Bumblefoot. He of a recent Ghost Cult interviewee also for his many bands. He has his own album, Bumblefoot Returns, for some instrumental prog rock. Century, the heavy metal band on Dying Victims Productions also. Corroding Soul, self-titled atmospheric post-black metal album. The great Dax Riggs mentioned it again. 7 songs for Spiders on Fat Possum Records, Gothic Southern Rock and Americana and folk, dark, evil folk. Disrupted, some death metal on Trust No One recordings. The Ferrymen for some heavy metal and rock. Flesh Bore, Painted Paradise for some technical death metal. The Great Old Ones, the classic great black metal band Cutteth, son of a concept record on Season of Mist. Pretty great stuff if you ask me. Irae on Signal Rex for some black metal. Harakiri for the Sky, great new album from the depressive black gaze band. Gnogjarn on Indie Recordings for some melodic hard rock. Labyrinth for some progressive power metal on Frontiers SRL. The great and amazing Mogwai, their new album for some instrumental rock, post-rock on Rock Action Records. Nikomata, Rock Shots Records for some power metal. Oni, long time ago interviewee of Ghost Cult. I still would like to interview him for this new EP. Genesis EP out now. The Slime, a hardcore crossover record from self-released. The State of You on Silent Cult Records metalcore album. Sunrot, the great band. Passages on Prosthetic Records, a huge fan of theirs. Sludge, noise rock, doom, avant-garde. Time Rift for some more hard rock on Dying Victims. Tormentor Tyrant on Everlasting Spew Records for some death metal. Void Fallen for some melodic death metal on Noble Demon Records. Vukovi for some alternative metal on Sharp Tone Records. And Wardruna, of course, Berna on By Norse Recordings. And again, please check out our interview with Wardruna. There's a short version of it on all the other socials, but you can check out the long, full interview on our site and on YouTube. And now it's time for the mailbag. I actually have a mailbag thing this week. I didn't have one last week. Or I had like a little, a cool thing last week, like a little one. The week before I skipped. So this week I was like, let me look at some of my records and think about things that I haven't shown you guys before or shown you guys on the Glacially Musical Pouredcast, where we check records and talk all about vinyl. But I still collect a lot of vinyl and buy stuff, and I'm sent stuff that doesn't get shown or shared. So I was like, I have a little pile of records. Let me take a look at some of these things I haven't shared before. And these two in particular are pretty cool. You might call them novelty records, but I don't think so. They're not a novelty to me. And again, a lot of you are still watching from the beginning. That is amazing. Thank you for being here. And remember to please like and subscribe. But now let's show off a couple of records I have. And again, you might consider them a novelty, but I don't. Number one is the debut self-titled record from Mouse Rat. Were you a fan of Parks and Recreations, the TV show? I was a huge fan. And it's where Chris Pratt came from, right? Before he was Star-Lord and everything. So his fictional band on the show, Mouse Rat, had a debut album, the awesome album, including his incredible songs 5,000 Candles in the Wind, The Pit, Sex Hair, Catch Your Dream, featuring Duke Silver on saxophone, Two Birds Holding Hands, the Anne song, The Way You Look Tonight cover, and Menace Ball. Side B has Remember I Get a Kick Out of You bonus track. Let's Call the Whole Thing Off, some like jazz songs, right? Lovely Tonight, I've Got You Under My Skin, and I Only Have Eyes for You. And Cold Picked Ginger by Land Ho, which is the other band he had on the show, and Cold Water by Scott Tanner featuring Duke Silver. There's actually lyrics to this whole thing on the inner sleeve. This thing is insane. Here, I'll put me back on the screen here. It's a good idea if I show the whole thing. So here's the Mouse Rat album cover. Here's the lyric sleeve. And then I have the exclusive variant of the Mouse Rat vinyl here in the Mylar already. Always put your records in an outer sleeve Mylar. Always look at this cool, translucent, sort of pinkish swirl. There's a taco and a motorcycle on the front cover, as you do. As you do. As you do. I love this thing. It's a lot of fun. And like I said, technically it's called, the official color of the sleeve is called Cherry Gersh vinyl for Jerry Gersh of Parks and Rec. Again, if you're a Parks and Rec fan, this is a fun one for you. And then the second one, again, I don't consider this a novelty record, but you might, is Dream Widow, the self-titled record by Dream Widow. Dream Widow is the metal band by Dave Grohl and Foo Fighters that did the soundtrack to Studio 666, their horror movie they put out a couple of years ago. Was sadly one of the last things Taylor Hawkins ever played on, and just so sad. And this is a pretty great. It's pretty heavy. You know that Dave Grohl also had the Probot record which you should always go look up and find. It's the heavy metal all-star record done by Dave Grohl in the style of all his favorite metal bands. Dave grew up a huge metal and punk fan. He did kind of this weird inverted odd pentagram thing for Dream Widow with the black metal font logo, and also lyrics to all the songs. And Dave, I think, played most of the drums on here, and Taylor did play a little bit, I think. It's also got Jim Rhoda from Fireball Ministry, who works at Dave's studio, and Rami Jaffe on keys from Foo Fighters. And I think it's just a plain old black. I do believe this came in some different variants, but I like the black on black. Oh, dusty right there. I like the black on black center logo with the pentagram, right? Isn't that cool? Sort of the weirdo Dream Widow logogram. I don't know what it is. It's a pretty fun record. It's pretty heavy. Came out at a time in between Foo Fighters records, along with that horror movie that was, comical, but maybe as one of his ways to get back to making music again, Dave Grohl will do another Probot record or another Dream Widow type project. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I thought that was fun. I haven't really had a chance to share too much stuff lately, and I wanted to. I just wanted to. And so, yeah, there's the show this week in a very manageable hour and 22 minutes. And as far as I'm concerned, considering we had a lot to get through, Seizing Drywall is back right as we get ready to say goodbye to the show. Victor Garcia is here. Moonchild. Rodinia Building is here. Jen. I really appreciate you guys. This is really what I look forward to every week. It's a lot of work to do Ghost Cult, me. We have a global staff of writers and reviewers, photographers all over the world. We covered 2 shows in the UK tonight. We covered the Metal Hall of Fame yesterday. We got a lot more coming up for you. New interviews, new reviews, all kinds of cool things. Stay tuned. If you're new here, Prunk Rebel Records is here. If you're new here, thanks for being here. If you're not new here, thanks for coming back. I'm Keefe from GhostCultMag.com. And as we always say at this juncture of the show, it is a tough time in the world. So please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and stay as metal as humanly possible. And I am going to dance a jig on the way out, as I always do. Peace, y'all, and have a great and safe weekend. I get out of this, Junior, I'm going to dance a jig. Peace.